Hearing about someone passing away is always heartbreaking for everyone who knew these amazing people and what they accomplished in their lives, both on and off the football field.
Sad news today. Jon Brody, an all-time great for the red and gold, has passed away at the age of 90.
These tragic deaths also serve as a reminder that life is short. So, today, we present 10 NFL players that you didn't realize died this year. Jon Brody. Brody was the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers from 1957 to 1973. He made 2 Pro Bowls with the franchise, led the team to the playoffs 4 times, won the 1965 NFL Comeback Player of the Year award, won the 1970 NFL MVP award, and is enshrined in the College Football Hall of Fame for his on-field accomplishments at Stanford. Throwing 224 interceptions against 214 touchdowns, Brody was a prolific passer during his time in the league, leading the league in passing yards in 1965, 1968, and 1970, and passing touchdowns in 1965 and 1970. Brody also led the 49ers to their first playoff win in the 1970 season, defeating the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC Divisional Round, but lost to the Tom Landry-coached Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. Brody was also a golfer, as he played golf for the Stanford Cardinal and went to play professionally for the Senior PGA after his football career concluded. He competed on the Senior PGA from 1985 until 1998, winning the 1991 Security Pacific Senior Classic and earning $735,000 throughout his golf career. Sadly, Brody passed away on January 23rd of 2026 at the age of 90. Matt Snell. Snell was a fullback who played for the New York Jets, helping them win Super Bowl III and made 3 AFL All-Star appearances. He also won the 1961 National Championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes and is enshrined in the Jets' Ring of Honor. Snell was a versatile and complete player in his heyday with the Jets, as he rushed for 4,287 yards, scored 24 rushing touchdowns in both the AFL and NFL, caught 193 receptions for 1,375 yards, and scored 7 touchdowns. Snell was a key figure in the Jets' lone Super Bowl win, as he rushed for 121 yards on 30 carries and scored the team's only touchdown that game. After his playing career, Snell was a partner for Defco Securities Inc. and owned a restaurant in New York City. Snell passed away on March 10th of 2026 at the age of 84. Rondale Moore. Moore was an explosive and versatile wide receiver during his collegiate days with the Purdue Boilermakers from 2018 to 2020. Moore broke out into the national scene in his freshman year, where he caught 114 receptions for 1,258 yards, scored 12 receiving touchdowns, rushed for 213 yards on 21 carries, and scored 2 rushing touchdowns. Moore was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals with the 49th pick in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft. He played for the Redbirds from 2020 to 2023, as he caught 135 receptions for 1,201 yards, scored 3 touchdowns, rushed for 249 yards on 52 carries, and scored 1 rushing touchdown in 2023. Moore also had stints with the Atlanta Falcons and Minnesota Vikings in 2024 and 2025 respectively. However, he dealt with a knee injury that kept him out of action in 2024 and a season-ending knee injury that he endured during a preseason game against the Houston Texans in 2025. Moore tragically passed away on February 21st of 2026, dying in a garage of a house in New Albany, Indiana at the age of 25. Sunonny Jurgensson. Jurgenson was the star quarterback for Philadelphia and Washington from 1957 to 1974. Jurgenson helped the Eagles to the 1960 NFL Championship and a 17-13 win over Vince Lombardi's Packers. He made 5 Pro Bowls, also a 2-time second-team All-Pro, led the league in passing yards in 1961, 1962, 1966, 1967, and 1969, leading the league in passing touchdowns in 61 and 67, and has his number retired by Washington and is enshrined in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Jurgenson truly became an NFL icon when the Eagles traded him to Washington in 1964, where he was spectacular, helping the team reach Super Bowl VII, but unfortunately he didn't play in the game due to nagging injuries at the time. Jurgenson was also a color commentator on TV immediately after his playing career, where he was beloved by the Washington fans. Ultimately, he retired from broadcasting in 2019, though. Sadly, Jurgenson passed away in Naples, Florida on February 6 of 2026 at the age of 91. Joey Browner. Browner was a dominant safety for the Minnesota Vikings and 1 season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers from the 1980s to the early 1990s. He made 6 Pro Bowls, was on the NFL's 1980s All-Decade team, and is enshrined in the Vikings Ring of Honor. Browner was a bone-crushing safety who caused havoc against opposing defenses with his bruising hits.
Who was the toughest guy for you to juke?
One that comes to mind, who I played against early in my career for the Vikings, it was a guy named Joey Browner.
Browner had 9.5 sacks, 37 interceptions returned for 465 yards, scored 3 pick sixes, had 17 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovered for a touchdown. Browner also helped the Vikings reach the playoffs in 1987, 1988, and 1989. Browner appeared in 7 games for the Buccaneers and started 2 of them in his lone season with the team in 1992. However, his time at the Vikings is more memorable thanks to the grit and strength that he showcased on the field. Browner was nominated for the Pro Football Hall of Fame 9 times, but sadly was never selected. Browner passed away on March 28th of 2026 at the age of 65. Barry Wilburn. Wilburn was a standout cornerback who spent his time in the NFL and CFL, helping Washington win Super Bowl 22 and helping the BC Lions win the 82nd Grey Cup against the Baltimore Stallions. Wilburn earned a first-team All-Pro in 1987 and led the league in interceptions that season as well with 9. Wilburn spent 2 seasons in the CFL playing for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and BC Lions in 1993 and 1994 respectively. Wilburn had 3 interceptions returned for a total of 42 yards with the Roughriders and Lions. Wilburn signed a deal with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 1999, 3 years after he was released by the Philadelphia Eagles, where he played 8 games for the Blue Bombers. Then in 2007, he served as a defensive backs coach for Howard University. Wilburn tragically died in a house fire at his residence in Memphis, Tennessee on February 6 of 2026. He was 62 years old. Derek Clark. Clark was a running back who came into the NFL as an undrafted free agent and signed a deal with the Denver Broncos back in 1994. Clark re-signed with the Broncos in 1996 and was allocated to the Rhine Fire of the World League of American Football. Clark also helped the Fire win the 6th World Bowl in 1998. Clark passed away on February 15th of 2026 at the age of 54. Ed Blaine. Blaine was an offensive guard who played 1 season for Vince Lombardi's Green Bay Packers and 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Eagles. During his collegiate football years for the Missouri Tigers from 1959 to 1961, he helped the team win the 1960 Orange Bowl against the Navy Midshipmen 21-14. Blaine also helped the Packers win the 1962 NFL Championship game against the New York Giants 16-7. He was traded to the Eagles in 1963 and started in 56 games for the franchise in his 4 seasons with them. After Blaine's football career ended, he earned a doctorate in physiology from the University of Missouri in 1970 and had a long and interesting career in academia, studying kidney function and its connection to cardiovascular disease. Blaine also taught at the medical school at the University of Missouri, along with conducting research on the effect of salt on kangaroos at the Howard Foley Institute in Melbourne, Australia from 1992 until his retirement. Blaine sadly passed away in his St. Louis home on March 22nd of 2026 at the age of 86. Mike Wagner. Wagner was a hard-hitting safety who spent his entire NFL career with the Pittsburgh Steelers from 1971 to 1980 with the Steel Curtain defense. Wagner helped the Steelers become a dynasty in the 1970s, being a part of the team's 4 Super Bowl wins. Wagner made 2 Pro Bowls, was a first-team All-Pro in 1973, was a second-team All-Pro in 1976, was the interception co-leader in 1973 with Dick Anderson of the Miami Dolphins, as they both had 8 interceptions, and is enshrined in the Steelers Hall of Honor. Wagner played in 119 games, started in 116 of those games, had 36 interceptions for 491 yards, and had 12 fumble recoveries with the Steelers. After retiring from playing football, Wagner served as a defensive backs coach at Pine Richards High School in Gibson, Pennsylvania, and earned a bachelor's degree in accounting and worked in the financial industry. Wagner also earned an MBA from the University of Pittsburgh and was a bank vice president in Pittsburgh. Sadly, Wagner passed away from pancreatic cancer on February 18th, 2026 at the age of 76. Tracy Scrogggins. Scrogggins was a standout defensive end and linebacker, spending his whole playing career with the Detroit Lions from 1992 until 2001. Scrogggins played in 142 games with the Lions and started in 89 of them. He had 1 interception in 1993, had 6 pass deflections, 8 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries, scored 2 touchdowns from his fumble recoveries, had 321 tackles, scored a safety in 1997, had 60.5 sacks, and was the 3rd most sacks by a Detroit Lion behind Matt Kofer and Robert Porcher. Scrogggins had 6 sacks in 7 seasons with the Lions, making him one of the fiercest defensive players during his time on the field. Scrogggins helped the Lions reach the playoffs 5 times in his career and helped them win the NFC Central in the 1993 season before the team was defeated by the Green Bay Packers in the wildcard round of the playoffs that season. Scrogggins earned a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from the University of Detroit while playing for the Lions. After his playing career, Scrogggins was a prominent voice raising the awareness of the dangers of CTE. Scrogggins also earned a real estate license in Florida and enjoyed spending time with his family. Sadly, Scrogggins passed away at 56 this year, as his family stated that he struggled with CTE. But hey, what name here are you most shocked to hear has passed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking the like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea, because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.